All right, so this is a continuation of the Bufo experience and how it's shaking out as it time passes and it begins to integrate. Um, and it's funny how it just feels like a continuation of life. It feels like perfectly situated, like nothing exotic or I don't know, like special, but just more of this, you know, the messy unfolding of a human life. But also, I don't know, fun and awesome. So, yeah, there were tarot cards left on each spot around the circle, and I chose my spot, and the card was the Priestess card, and it asked, where are you being called to step up and lead? And it felt really appropriate because that's been a big theme is sort of stepping into sovereignty, into like what a concept being the sovereign of my own life, trusting my own intuition, trusting that my own intuition is valuable, is as real as anything else. Whew. And that's, you can find evidence that that's not the case if you want to look. You can find whatever you want to find. It's so weird how our beliefs shape our reality shapes our belief shapes our reality, and it's this sort of thing. And like somehow there's a way to kind of take a step back and it's not a matter of just changing your beliefs, but you can question your beliefs. And as they dissolve, what's left? And the title of this video is just a joke, just being silly, which is on, uh, you know, which is what the whole experience, I guess the theme of it is just things are so funny and ridiculous and bizarre and it's just for play. It's just stuff happening. I don't know, man. Words are really, really hard as far as transmitting anything close to what I'm trying to transmit. But yeah, there's just a stronger sense of anyway. I'll run through a very quick summary of the entire ceremony so that I mean like in a minute. Um, so take a moderate dose, 55 of whatever the measurement is, as opposed to 80 to 100, which apparently is normal. That pressure, I took it in. I lay back, and the ceiling was unexpected. I hadn't looked up, so um, it was just sort of this visual that I had never seen before, and I couldn't sort of make any meaning out of it. Um, and my mind tried, and it was kind of painful, but it was trying to make meaning out of it. And and then the pressure, like an infinite inhale, and it's like something's going to explode. and that's okay because I can't stop it and I don't want to. So, something exploded apparently, and I whited out. Um, you know, a blackout, there's no stimulation. A whiteout, there's so much stimulation that's just, you just, I don't know. If anything happened, I have no memory of it. Um, and then I started to kind of come back to not exactly a body, but a visual field and some cognitive field of like, I took some medicine and I'm looking at a ceiling and there's facilitators rattling rattles and flitting around and what the fuck? Like I every single thing was what the fuck. Every single thing, every single particle of the wall, every single thing anybody was doing, every single molecule with electrons around it, every single, I mean, much less fucking giraffes and all of it, everything, name anything. And it was just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And I was just like laughing so helplessly and just saying, oh, what the fuck? Seriously though, anything that you see, you can try to sort of trace it back, make meaning out of it, take it, give it a history, give it a, but all that's gone. What's here right now is just what's here right now. And if you try to make sense of it, you're going to give yourself a headache. And I don't know, like, it's just here. And every bit of it, like, what the fuck? Like, it feels like it spontaneously appeared. And essentially, it did spontaneously appear. Like, you can imagine time and you can imagine manufacturing processes, whatever, you know, intentions, past intentions, whatever. But here and now, there's just what's here and now. And it's just shapes, colors, textures. You can make up stories. You can try to discern real stories. You can do whatever you want. It's here now, and so are you, and you can do whatever you want. And, and I guess what wanted to happen then was a lot of laughter and a lot of just well done, God. You know, um, seriously, like wow, totally ordinary, nothing changed, but holy shit, what the fuck? And I kind of feel that more and more in my everyday life, but that was just like whippets of holy shit, what the fuck? Uh, yeah. Um, and later on when we were having soup and stuff, some people told me that my laughter, it was really touching to watch, like just sheer delight over my own child or whatever. And they said it helped them feel brave because some of them had been thinking about opting out, but it made them feel brave to try it. Like maybe okay, maybe it's not so bad. I don't know what ended up happening for them because nobody else really talked about it. But and the facilitator, she said, "I can tell you've done some work. Like I can tell from how that went that you've done some work." And I was like, "Yeah, I've done about 3 years of shadow work. I think I don't mind a little bit of lightness right here, right now." She said, "Oh, that gave me chills." But yeah. Anyway, another funny thing that happened when I did the meditative dose when toward the when somebody else was deep in the medicine and she just came around and gave us little sips. My teeth felt like these giant radioactive crystals. Like it was such a, there were these huge rocks that were just like, I don't know, somehow like radium or something just glowing. And, I could have thought of it as something alarming or unpleasant, but I opted not to. It wasn't too bad as long as I didn't think of it as something bad. It was a lesson in total acceptance. Why not have giant radioactive crystal teeth for a while? It was interesting. But anyway, yeah, so the whiteout, sort of around, like peri whiteout, around the whiteout, in the space before and after the whiteout, the emptiness that I sensed was emptier than any emptiness that ever emptied. It's like far emptier than the emptiness of space, like outer space. There's no virtual particles there. There's no cosmic radiation there. There's no space dust there. Fucking empty. It's like the emptiness between subatomic particles kind of emptiness. Um, yeah, airlessness. It was just like, it was not, in a sense, not friendly to human life. I guess if you think of it as so airless, so empty. Um, and I don't, I can try to put a word on that. Was it source? Was it emptiness? Was it the ground being, um, the space between realms? It was just as empty can be. Shockingly empty. Like, I like I didn't know there was an emptiness. There was a scale. It's like I thought, okay, this is full and this is empty, right? And it was like, oh, I didn't know what emptiness was. That's emptiness. So anyway, yeah, or you call it pure consciousness or the mind of a supercomputer. There was something almost metallic, or I don't know. I don't want to say mechanistic because that seems like pasting something on it from here, but definitely not human. And maybe there's a bias where it's like, oh, if it's not human, it must be a machine. But not a human, not a machine. Or maybe who fucking know? I don't know what the fuck it was. Um, yeah, but anyway, whatever it was rather intimidating, uh, sterile in a way. As far as like, yeah, like just not human, not life, not this warm, cushiony, airy, green, flowery, blue, vibrant, pulsing life that I'm used to. It was the opposite of that. It was um could have been just completely my own imagination imagining something. I don't fucking know. Anyway, so impersonal, but also somehow loving, if this was source, because it apparently pumps energy and intelligence into creating realms that are so colorful and fecund and bizarre, with such fascinating physics and chemistry and biology and sociology and everything else that we try with baby blinking eyes to understand, quite reverently, when we don't pretend when we wrap our layers of ourselves in layers of thinking we know because we have the data or we have the equations or whatever, then the enchantment is lost. But when we remember the enchantment, even a little bit, there's such a reverence, um, whether it's through science or spirituality. Um, certainly I can say as myself, my love of science was motivated by love. Um, and I think many other scientists are like that, even if later they get co-opted by the golden calf of careerism. Anyway, it didn't feel like some grand unity experience of bliss and love, like some people talk about. Uh, and there was part of me that was a little bit disappointed about that. But my assignment, and again, maybe just making this up, but whatever. My assignment, I suppose, is to accept that and myself completely with full trust that it is as it should be. Um, you know, maybe I'm not, maybe I don't get the typical experience, or maybe the most usual experience, the most reported experience, because who really knows? But it could be also that my mind is still trying to take over too much. Um, but that's fine too. Maybe I'm in it. Uh, Even if I am an intellectual person in general, and that's going to stay that way for the rest of my life, um, struggling towards something that feels like full acceptance, but may never feel like what I imagine love or unity should feel like. Um, Even if I'm someone who does my best to love the people in my life and the universe itself through actions, even if, you know, worst case scenario, I missed out on the feeling of love as a kid and therefore maybe missed that boat entirely in this form. Uh, Even if all that's the case, which I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying, like, just for the sake of argument, even if it were the case, I can still be a good part of things. I still want to be a good part of things. I still enjoy this world in my own way. Uh, and maybe that's more than love enough. Maybe when I fully accept and practice that enough, some other portal will open. My heart will open, whatever, when it's ready. Maybe not. I don't know. But all they can deal with is how things are now. And it always starts with acceptance, including acceptance of any resistance, or any disappointment. It's like the disappointment is allowed to be here, whatever. Um, because anything you resist seems to persist, even if it's resistance itself. And then, that's a lot of words. And it's funny that I keep trying to build meaning out of this. Um, but I don't cling to it. So even like non-duality itself, it's a raft, it's a bridge. And when it's served its apparent purpose, I can leave it behind. Um, meaning is like thoughts, just suggestions, something to play with. You can do whatever you want with it. Um, but yeah, part of me, I feel like with so much surrendering and non-duality I've done already, this felt a bit like more of the same, just with a little Bufo twist. Everything's so crystalline as it is, with no purpose, yet somehow it generates meaning that also has no purpose, but still fantastically precious and wonderful, like everything else. Meaning it kind of whirls out like a little eddy current, like everything else. It exists when it exists, it's made up, maybe it's pretty, and then it dissolves sooner or later, like everything else. And I don't know how Bufo makes all that even more clear than it already was. uh, but it seemed to for me. It seemed to kind of put a neon sign and an underline on yeah, that instinct of I'm really here. This is really all I've got. This is there's nothing else I need to look for. There's nothing around the bend. There's nothing I need to escape. There's nothing I can escape. It's just this weird, wild existence. And it is weird and wild when I remember it's weird and wild, you know? A friend once said to me, "You are life. Allow life to harmonize your body, mind, and soul." And I couldn't quite believe that. You know, I was like, I'm not really life. Nothing's really going to harmonize here. This isn't, that sort of dismissal of myself that's so ingrained. Um, but yeah, more and more, there's nowhere else to go, nowhere else to be but here. And somehow it just feels more clear now and more precious and more real. Um, and I didn't need some big unity experience to tell me that. I already had that 22 years ago anyway. And an experience is just an experience. Knowledge is just knowledge. Knowledge gained from an experience is just knowledge. The task really continues to be living minute by minute, or in the eternal minute, the eternal split second. Um, yeah, and of course, other people get different things out of it. And, I guess it really is a free for all. Just whatever happens, happens, just like in real life. And we can make whatever meaning of it that we want. And, maybe that's the total freedom that Angelo speaks about. Total freedom of whatever happens to happen, and total freedom for us to make meaning out of it or no meaning at all, for us to settle in or resist. And don't get too worried about anything because it'll change. Don't get too attached to anything because it'll change. And yeah, it seems like with more clear seeing, we have more freedom to choose better, so called. Um, People do tend, it seems, to be kinder the more clearly they see, but maybe that's just my bias, because, evil people believe they are the ones who see clearly, and puritanical goody goodies of various types will see, non-duality people as a bunch of godless communists or meat-eating apolitical hedonists or whatever they project onto us, totally convinced they're right. Um, and you can say that meaningful progress has been made throughout history, but it's so achingly fragile. Any kind of any progress made, it seems to, maybe there's a little bit of a ratchet, but all that can go to hell too. It seems to be trying to go to hell right now. Um, so maybe there really is no like solving this. It's just living moment to moment in a way that aligns with each of our own intuition regarding purpose, meaning, joy, whatever we value based on our causes and conditions. And that's it. Um, But at least I can say for me that the more trauma and illusions are cleared out, apparently, who really knows, the better I can align with some deep intuition that feels like it's been waiting patiently all my life for me to clear out the cobwebs and get to it. Like maybe just a more confident and creative movement through life without so much doubt and other baggage. Uh, but yeah, even if like I said, worst case scenario, I'm totally cut off from meaning and purpose and the snuggly animal love of mammals. Even if none of those things are even real, I'm still okay. Even if I'm literally never going to know jack shit, I'm still okay, fundamentally, because what else can I be? And because there's still poetry. And even if poetry is made up, it's pretty. And there are trees and rain and my daughter's paintings and my son's adoration of cats and love affair with machines. And if all of that burns tomorrow, I'd still count myself immeasurably lucky, even if I'm a fiction, even if it's all of, like, I love this fiction. I write fan fiction called books about it. So, uh, and like, is that still a framework I'm trying to rest in? I'm trying to build, even if it's a framework of no framework. Still just talking around the plunge, the real, total circling the drain, the plunge drain. But yeah, it's that's okay too. It's nice to be in a sweet spot of contentment and striving. Like I could be here forever. Maybe not. Maybe that's not true. I still feel like there's, something left, a plunge left to make. But I'm not stressed about it. Like if right now I'm circling the drain, that's fine. Uh, I feel confident, more confident, following this intuition, moving in the directionless direction that I'm moving in. And however fast or slow it goes, that's totally fine. Um, of course, check in with me next week. I might be in a totally new and unforeseen existential crisis. That tends to happen when I get a little cocky, but that's fine too. And all of this whole thing, it's just words, it's blah blah blah, like thought suggestions for fun. Don't take any of it seriously. Build a sandcastle, watch it wash away. Um, so yeah, thoughts are even more Teflon than before, frictionless. Any doubt, any kind of suffering, it shows up now more of just like um, it's like sour milk. It's like ugh, don't want to drink that. Um, but instead of suppressing it or trying to throw it away, it's like you kind of have to drink the sour milk, but then the sour milk's gone. Doesn't keep coming back. Hopefully. Um, yeah, even if I bypass something, it's okay. It'll come around again. It'll do whatever it does. It may get worked out in a meditation session or another medicine ceremony, or just pop out like a fart. It's fine. Um, yeah, so I felt appreciation, fun, wonder, whimsy, intellectual fascination, and I got a sense that it doesn't matter. I don't have to have any particular experience. It doesn't have to look or feel like anything. I can live my own version of existence without chasing anything, even if I have, yeah, what's meant to find me will find me. It's fine. Nothing's wrong. Even if I have residues of identity, that's fine too. It'll do what it does, and what happens will happen. Um, and even if fundamentally my experience is different from everybody else's, and I'm kind of, left out or cut off, um, like maybe I'm like one of those burdens or unattached burdens in an IFS system. But even then, energy can't be created or destroyed. So it seems it can only be transformed, and I'm transformed every single second. If I'm wrong and energy can be destroyed, and I'm living on borrowed time, it makes that time so much more precious. Um, and there's nothing I can do about it. So getting bent out of shape about it serves no purpose. It's effectively back to the materialist paradigm of oblivion after death, and you know, there's nothing I can do but enjoy the time I have. If I am, after all, going to be thrown into a hell realm of eternal torment, well, there's nothing I can do about that either. And and again, this time is that much more precious. This world is that much more spectacular. Um, if I was born, created fundamentally bad or defective, it's through no fault of my own, and there's nothing I can do about that either. So it's like I have a pretty sweet go of it right now. I have the friends and family I have. Just a minute. Um, and it's pretty awesome. Not bad for a piece of energetic garbage. So, like again, I'm talking worst case scenarios. Even the worst case scenarios, you know, it is what it is, and I don't need to worry about it right now. I literally can't. So, yeah, I don't need to be good. I don't need to be special. I don't need to be like anyone else or experience what anyone else experiences. I have no control over that. I landed like this. I'm exactly, well, however this is, which changed all the time. Um, I'm exactly me, and that's it. There's nothing to worry about, nothing to aim for. I'm already here. If there's something I need to do, I don't know how to find out other than to look within, and that's what I'm doing as best I can.